Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4.
Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel, and it's been a while again. I know there are videos in the work, but unfortunately at the moment Royal Mail's been doing a lot of strikes, so books that I've ordered are taking a while to arrive. So there are videos to come. There is a birthday book haul coming because it is my birthday last week. Then there's also a YouTuber recommendation video coming. So I messaged some YouTubers and they gave me some recommendation books, so that video is coming as well. Again, I'm just waiting for Royal Mail to deliver my books that I need. So anywho, today's video is my November wrap up. I honestly don't know how I managed to read the books that I've read this month, because to me it felt really hectic and busy and doing stuff, and I didn't feel like I read a lot, but I have managed to. But this month I've also DNF'd a lot of books as well because I just could not get into them and they just weren't hooking me in and interested me. So anyway, let's go back to the start of the month when I read Evidence of the Affair by Ted Jenkins Reid, which I gave 3.5 stars. This was just a little short book that I read on my tablet and my phone, just in between doing bits, and it was it was good, but like the way it was written was interesting, but I don't quite, it wasn't because it was a very short book, there wasn't a lot to go off to get an opinion of, if you know what I mean. I think if it was longer and there's more to it, then maybe it would have been a higher rating because it would have had more background and stuff, but unfortunately it didn't, so that was just 3.5 stars with me. I then read Revolution by Mike Bond. I DNF'd it. This was an ARC book that I received, and again I just couldn't, like, I thought it would be something that I would enjoy because I do read I read any topic within genre, but for some reason this one I couldn't get into, and obviously as you can tell is a political book just by the title, and yeah, I just couldn't, I don't want to talk bad about books because obviously, you know, everyone has their opinions, everyone feels differently about books, you know. You don't know what you think about a book until you read it. So for me, this just wasn't my kind of book. This book just wasn't for me. I then read and got into, finally, I read The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I read it 4.5 stars. Oh my god, I know what the hype is behind this book. I see why you all love it so much. It was really interesting, the backstory, the twists, the turns, the mystery, all just wrapped up into one book was just amazing, and I loved it. I then did read, obviously, The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which I gave 4.75 stars, so I like this one a bit more than the first one. Obviously I don't want to go into too much because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it, but I will read, because it is just here. I'll read the back of it for you guys. Avery has a plan: keep her head down, work hard for a better future. Then an eccentric billionaire dies, leaving out almost his entire fortune, and no one, least of all Avery, knows why. Now she must move into the mansion she inherited. It's filled with secrets and codes and the old man's surviving relatives, the family hell-bent on discovering why Avery got their money. Soon she is caught in a deadly game that everyone in this strange family is playing, but just how far will they go to keep their fortune? So yeah, this one was 4.5. This one was 4.75 stars. Obviously I don't want to go into anything. I did also read The Bloody Rose by Christopher Stanford, which again was another art copy that I received. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It was interesting, it was different, it was something that it had a lot of mystery, a lot of twists, a lot of turns to it. It was quite a thrill aspect. There were some bits that did gross me out a little bit because they were well detailed, and I did have to just take a moment to myself before I continued. But other than that, it was really, really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I then DNF'd another 2 books. So it was Kissmet by Amina Akhtar. I hope I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. The Memory Book as well by Rowan Coleman. So Kissmet, I just couldn't enjoy. I just, you know, when I read the like blurb of it, I thought, oh, this, you know, it's pretty good. Perfect time of year, read it, you know, a bit of a thriller mystery sort of thing. And I just couldn't. I could not, for the life of me, get into this book. And it really did annoy me a bit because it was just such a me book, something I would love. So I might try again, maybe next year, just at some point see how I get on. But for now, it was a dinner. Which goes for the same for the Memory Book. Again, a story completely me, my kind of book, and I couldn't get into it at all. It really, really annoyed me. But I am going to try this one again. This one is a definite try again, but I'm going to try with the physical book because I was listening to the audiobook. So I'm going to get a physical book and try again, and hopefully fingers crossed. I then done a bit of deep reading. I read The Odyssey by Homer, which I gave 3.5 stars to. It's a classic. I feel like any reader at some point in their lifetime of reading will read The Odyssey and books related to it and retellings of it. You know, you got not just obviously the Odyssey, retellings of the Odyssey, but you got Song of Achilles, Circe. You know, you got the top 2 that come to my head. Of retellings of Greek mythology, you know, and I'm a big mythology person. I love mythology, so to be able to read the original, obviously it's translated and it's worked and reworked and big introductions, but I did thoroughly enjoy it. Obviously it is very long and there is a lot of words in there that are very old. But it was a very good and enjoyable book. I then read Killing Jane by Stacey Green, which was again another arc. Read a lot of arcs this month, but I thoroughly enjoyed that one. That one was really good. It's really interesting again, twist turns. I read a lot of like mystery, thriller-esque kind of books this month, so that was a good book as well. I really enjoyed that one. I gave, like I said, 4 stars. If you see me looking, I'm looking at my laptop because I can never remember off the top of my head what books I read, so I keep it all. I've got a digital library which I will go through one day. But back to my wrap up. I then gave Meet Me in London by Georgia Toffolo 2 stars. I was actually quite disappointed by this book. Don't get me wrong, it is a good book, and it is a good book for Christmas. It's a Christmas like season book. It's based in around Christmas time, so I do recommend it. But for me, it was just way too cheesy. If you take a Hallmark film and turn it into a book, that was this book to me. So I just couldn't. It was just too cheesy and too, yeah, to me anyway. I then had another art copy, which was Princess for a Day by Christina Lola Brigada. I hope I said your name right. I DNF'd it again. I actually thought it'd be something I was interested to, but I couldn't get into it. It was just, I could get jumpy. I don't think the writing was really well for me. I just couldn't. There was just something about this book that just felt off, and because of that I couldn't get into it. if that makes sense. I then read Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, which I gave 4 stars. I enjoyed this one a lot more than I thought I would. I don't know why, but for some reason I just didn't know if this book would be very for me, but it really was, and I really enjoyed it. Like the tension in the build up throughout was really well written. The characters are really lovable. You get to see like these different sides to the characters as well, from like expectations to actually what they are. It's really well written, and I did thoroughly enjoy it, and I can't wait to read the next book when I get at some point. I don't know. I then of course read the Final Gambit, which I gave 4.5 stars to. I do have the Waterstones exclusive. It does have a sticker on it. I'll take that. The Waterstones exclusive content version. So there is an extra chapter in here. It's green sprayed edges, and there is also an extra chapter. Let me find it. So this is the extra chapter. It's not a truth thing, but it's One Hawthorne Night. It's just a little original short story, which came with this one, which was actually quite interesting. It added a bit of backstory to something that happened within the book, which is good, which is what I like. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this series. It was thoroughly enjoyable, and I can't wait to read the new book that's coming out to do with the brothers. It's going to be really nice to get a bit more backstory into them, because this one was very much Avery focused with them as supporting characters, so I can't wait to have the brothers as like the main characters, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. I then DNF'd another arc, which was with a Broken Wing by Meg Becker. I haven't got a lot to say on this one because I DNF'd it pretty early, because I couldn't get into it, I couldn't get hooked. And for me, I normally persevere because I don't like DNFing books, but something that I've wanted to start doing is, you know, not forcing myself to read them if I can't get into them, because that's what I used to do, because I hate DNFing books, because my anxiety then it was through the roof. I didn't like DNFing, so my goal for this year has been to, you know, allow myself to DNF more books, which this month has proven correct, and I have done. But I think that's the reason I've been more able to DNF is because I have been so busy with other stuff, so it has worked out. I did end the month on a high with these last 3 books. So I then read 3 Letters by Josephine Cox, which was 3.5 stars. This is a really good story, and I do recommend reading it. It is an emotional story, and it is very heartwarming. And you know, it is perfect. So, I mean, the only issue that I had was how long the chapters were. I hate long chapters, I really do. I like nice short quick chapters because you like feel like you're flying through the book. So yeah, that was the only issue I had, was the long chapters. But other than that, the story is really lovely. You know, the characters are lovable. It's about a little boy following him, you know, and the issues that have arisen from actions of his father. His father has left 3 letters, one for his little son, one for the grandfather, and one for the wife. You know, those have been, you see why he did what he did, and then you follow on to read what's happened after the action of what his father had done. So it is very heartwarming and emotional, and I do recommend reading it. I then read Hamnet by Maggie Farrell, which I gave 4 stars. This story was really nice again, a really lovely story to read. It's based on Shakespeare's son. It's sort of like a retelling of what happened to him. So obviously we know the player's Hamlet. It's based off Shakespeare's son, Hamnet. If you noticed the difference, I don't think it sounded funny. But yeah, so I did really enjoy that story. It was really cute, like love of all men. Do have some emotional moments in there. There was one moment that did break my heart a little bit. I was just like, oh my god. But I do definitely recommend it if you do like sort of that historical vibe and, you know, sort of retellings of older events that have happened. I do recommend reading that one because it's a less known one, I say. And then I finished my month off with Rebel Rose by Emma Therot. I hope I said your name right, with 4 stars. I'm not going to give my full review here for that one because that is going to be in a video coming soon. I am filming another week of reading Disney books, which that book is in, so my full review will be in that video, not this one. But yeah, I did give it 4 stars and I did really enjoy it, a lot more than I thought. But yeah, that was all the books that I read this month. Again, like I said, I'm quite impressed with how many I read this month for me, considering it felt like I was so busy I didn't get a chance to read. But yeah, again, disclaimer, it doesn't matter if you read 1 or 20 books. You do you read what you can. Any amount that you read is great. And yeah, I will catch you guys next week when the Disney vlog comes out, and fingers crossed soon the other videos will come out because the rest of my stuff will arrive and allow me to film them. So more videos are definitely coming soon, guys. Don't forget to keep smiling, be kind, keep reading. Bye guys.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.